Welcome to the Digital Thought Leader Podcast. We help coaches, professional speakers, authors, and thought leaders elevate their online presence so that they can attract their ideal client. We give you the resources, tips, motivations, and success stories to help you step out of your comfort zone and share your God-given talents with the world. I'm your host, Kimberly Inez Mays. Now let's get it started. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is Kimberly Mays, and with me, I have a very special guest. I have Kevin Armstrong, who is the logo creator and graphic designer for Foolishly Creative, and he has his own business, Kevin Armstrong Design. So welcome, Kevin.
Hey, Kimberly, nice to be here.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Kevin because I know him very well, so I want you to know him like I know him. So Kevin is a graphic designer with more than 10 years of experience designing logos, t-shirts, marketing collateral for small businesses and individuals, and he delivers excellent customer service with a fine attention to detail. So wow, that is quite a lot. So thanks for joining, and thank you for being here and welcome. So Kevin, I told the audience what it is that you do, but can you go a little bit further into the type of services that you provide?
The type of services that I provide right now on my website in particular, Kevin Armstrong Designs, is primarily logos and branding material. So this pretty much essentially just be logos for now. But I do logos for small businesses, particularly in entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs, I guess almost like yourself, but I kind of work for you, so I already just do stuff pretty much for people like small businesses in particular.
Okay, so what you guys need to know about Kevin is that he is super humble. So when he just says logos and branding material, that is a lot because a logo and especially branding can do so much for a business. I know for a fact that, branding, what I like to say about branding is a feeling that someone gets when they experience your brand. And it goes beyond your colors and your fonts, although it definitely incorporates that. But what I like about what Kevin does is he takes time to understand the business so that he can really deliver the product and deliver the image that the client wants. And I want to know a little bit more about your process. So when you say you design logos, what does that look like and what does that process entail?
Well, the process usually starts obviously with the customer coming to me with the information. But I go a little bit more deeper than just taking what the customer wants and making what they want. I tend to do a bit of market research. I'll go on the internet, I try to find their niche or what they're doing and find what the competitors are doing and seeing the branding that the competitors are doing. And then I usually start from there with their information and seeing what I see out there. And then I usually bring it into, I'll probably start sketching. I'm not a very good sketcher. I know for a logo designer, sketching is kind of be a big part of it, but I'm a terrible sketcher. I work well when I put things on screen. When I can see it on the screen, it comes to life. It comes to life to me. Yeah. So I usually start with that, and then I do my market research. I look to see what other people are, not necessarily copy them, but to get inspiration as well. But to also see what, her competitors or their competitors doing to kind of get a feel, what is working in that space.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when you say, kind of get a feel of what's working, how do you know when branding is working?
That's a really good question because branding is kind of tricky in the sense that it's not necessarily hard to track when it's working, but it's easy to dismiss when it's not. So you might say, "Oh, this is not working," but you're not. You might think it's something else about branding, what you're branding. So I would usually say is branding kind of starts. I should go here. Branding starts with the person, with the owner, right? So, for instance, if you look at a company like Nike or Best Buy or whatever, the branding usually starts the minute you walk into the store. You see the Best Buy logo, you see the colors, you see the people wearing their their blue shirts with the yellow Best Buy badge. Everything is there. The colors, their fonts, the feel of the store. Like when you come into the store, they want you to feel welcome. It's always nice and airy.
Mhm.
It's nice, and that's all part of the branding. So it's branding is very interesting in that sense, especially when you're talking about um uh, when it works,
Mhm.
because um when I look at a company, when I do my work, my market research, I I used to look at companies that have what I call a cohesive brand, that everything is in place. Like you will go to a certain website and it might just have a logo up there, and logo could be designed by anybody. And
Mhm.
then the website is completely different. Like the colors are completely different from what the logo is. The feel is completely off than what the logo represents. Everything this doesn't feel like it's cohesive. So
Yeah.
when I do my market research, I always look at what they're doing as a whole. I go to the website, I go to see any videos they're doing, I go to the social media, all that's part of branding as well.
Yeah. And I love that you said you went into depth. So thank you for that. And I love the analogy of talking about when you go into Best Buy. And I know, like, when you're in the supermarket and you walk past the Coca Cola products or the Pepsi products, you just know automatically what that is, or the
Yeah,
Mickey Mouse ears, or the little thing with the castle of Disney.
yeah,
So, those are very memorable, iconic brands, but that could be applied to a small business as well.
yeah,
And what I appreciate about the work that you do is that you really take the time to think about the business owner. Because I know a lot of graphic designers, what they'll do is they'll design something that looks nice, but doesn't really work for the business. And what I think about branding that works, I think about what people tell me. Oh, when I see a post, I instantly know it's foolishly creative, or I
hmm,
instantly know it's you. It could be anywhere from the colors to the fonts to layout and even the copy so much. But when you're talking about visuals, you don't want to sacrifice your visual identity too. You really need to have that together, even as a small business owner, because we're all going online. So, yeah, thank you for that. And that is really what Kevin does, but he does so much more because I look over his shoulder all the time and I see you. Like, you say you're not a good sketcher, which I call like BS on all of that,
okay,
because I've seen your work, I've seen your thoroughness, and I'm blown away by some of the things that you can do. So Kevin is the kind of person, he's not going to brag on himself. So, I'll tell you about the type of things that I've seen Kevin do. I've seen him sketch out logos, he'll sketch out designs, and he does it professionally. He uses professional software. So I've seen him, and I don't know if anyone listening or watching really understands Adobe Illustrator, but they have these things called paths. So you have to manually, pixel by pixel or point by point, like carve out a particular curve or an image or something that would drive me absolutely nuts. He'll put on his headphones, he'll go into the zone and do that for hours for a client. So that is why it's so important to work with somebody who really understands your business and takes time to ask questions. No matter what you get, a website, a logo, or even like an attorney or any service professional will do the work. So Kevin definitely puts in the work. And, I want to know your journey because we know, about your logo design, and we know about graphics, and we know the technique. We got that down. But now we want to talk about Kevin, the person, because I think you can inspire so many other people who are, either sitting on the fence or trying to get started or just looking to make a leap. And you can make a leap at any step of the process as an entrepreneur. So if you're a little bit on the quieter, more reserved side, listen up, listen to what Kevin has to say. So, Kevin, I want to know, what are some of the things that have brought you to where you are now?
um I would say pretty much where it started. I'm a naturally curious person by heart, so
Hmm.
I like to kind of tinker with things. I like to, and Kim can attest to this. I like to really get into something and tinker with it. It drives her crazy because I could spend hours tinkering on something, and she would just like do it already, put it out. But that's just my nature. I love to tinker, so it kind of started that way. I knew of Photoshop, let me go back. So I kind of started this when my cousin started her print broker business. A print broker is essentially a person like a middleman between a graphic designer and a professional printer. So we will either do the designs ourselves or somebody will bring us a design and we will then broker a price with a printer, and then we will obviously add our markup and then give that price to the customer. And from there we will take care of everything else. We will send the file to be printed, and then it will come back to our store or we can ship it to them, and then they will get it. But I kind of started there, and I really had no graphic design experience. And she called me up one day and said, I'm thinking of opening the store. I want you to be a part of it. I said, oh, okay,
Mhm.
what can go wrong? And that was about, I could say, what was it, 10 years ago, Kim? I think
I think it was literally 10 years ago,
10 years ago, yeah.
yeah, you stepped into that role.
Yeah, and I had no graphic design experience. I had to learn on the spot. I mean, I was there by myself essentially um most of the time. Throughout the day, I had to take calls from customers, I had to take walk-ins from customers. I had to make sure that what they send me was correct, because you just can't send any old graphic design job to a printer. It has to be formatted in a certain way. So I had to learn that pretty much all on the spot. And she essentially put Photoshop in front of me and says, I can teach you a few things, but the rest you're gonna have to learn. And over those years and dealing with those customers and those clients that we got,
Mhm.
I really learned how to not only use Photoshop and then eventually use programs like Illustrator in really well, but I also got and since it was pretty much dealing with face-to-face customers, I got really good at customer service, how to you know handle certain situations, how to speak to people in certain situations,
Mhm.
how to reach out to people in certain situations. So that really helped when it came to um, dealing with people on the internet, because I essentially had to learn that on the spot as well.
Mhm.
And it I tell everybody out there that wants to get into doing something, especially graphic design, take the time now to learn it now that you have the free time because of the pandemic.
Mhm.
And uh, companies like Adobe and Affinity are offering their services really cheaply. I know Adobe slashed some of their prices recently, and so did Affinity. They slashed their graphic design suite by 50%. So you can really get into it right now, and it doesn't really take that much to learn. You don't have to be an expert at all. I've been at this 10 years, and I still have a lot to learn. Like, I have
Mhm.
so much to learn in these programs, but the designs that I put out, people will swear I've been doing this forever.
Mhm.
They they will, they love it. You don't have to be an expert at it. You just have to know how to do
Mhm.
it and how to get, an end result. And then
Yeah.
everything else in the middle you can learn,
Mhm.
you know. And a part of working at the print broker too allowed me to understand what printers need when they're printing files. Not also do we do printing, but we also do shirt design. So we understood that as well, which allows me to, when I'm designing a logo for someone, I know what the printers want.
Mm.
So I know that they're going to want it at a certain resolution. I know they're going to want it in a certain color format. I know these things inherently, so there'll be no, oh, I tried to send my file into a printer, they said it wasn't formatted properly. I know what I'm doing. So when I finish the logo design, the customer gets all the files they need. The ones for print, I call them print ready files. That's
Mhm.
the right resolution and the right color format, and you get web files. I know the when you're putting stuff on the internet, you still want to look nice, but the actual file size has to be, your site has to load fast. If you're putting it on your
Mhm.
website, it
Yeah.
can't bog down your site. So it give you web optimized files as well. They look good, but they're not as big as the print ready files. So the print ready files need to be big, because when you're printing on a physical canvas,
Mhm.
it needs to be sharp. So you get all that when I design files for you.
Yeah, and I love that you take the time to break that down too, because not a lot of people know that. I know that from experience. People come in, or people have come to you in the past with designs, and it's very small and pixelated, and then you go ahead and open up Illustrator and do that work all over again, setting up the paths and
Yep.
essentially giving them a brand fresh new design. So yeah, it's very important to work with people who know what they're doing. And I think that when you're starting out, and I love Kevin's journey because he was thrown into something and he made a masterpiece out of the situation he was thrown into. He crafted out something, a profitable business out of a job that he had that he didn't feel he was ready for. So even if you don't feel quite ready for something, you can still start because you never know where it's going to take you. So
Exactly.
thank you.
And to to add to that, one of my favorite quotes is Nike's quote of "Just do it."
Hmm.
Like, just erase the doubt in your mind and just do it. The worst thing that can happen to you, I always tell myself this, that even we all suffer from this. And I'm not saying I'm the perfect person. I'm not saying I wake up every day. I mean, there's something new to do, but just jump right into it. Sometimes I hesitate all the time.
Hmm.
But I have to tell myself that the worst thing that can happen is either a no,
Hmm.
and no is nothing. No just means, it's not good at this time.
Hmm.
That's when you go back and you work on your craft and you make sure the next time is better.
Hmm.
No doesn't have to be the end, and you don't have to be afraid of no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love that. Wow, you were like really dropping some serious knowledge. So, yeah, if you haven't been listening, Kevin just said that you don't have to be afraid of no, and then also use this time now to really get started. And I just love that you said that because I think now we're feeling stuck and we're feeling stagnant and not just really unsure. So, this has been super awesome. And, I just wanted to know what are some of the things you wish that you had known when you started out that you know now?
Um, things I wish that I've known. Um, that's a good question too, because I tend not to be a backwards thinker, but sometimes, you know, you do go into that mode.
Mhm.
But one thing I wish I have known back then when I was starting out is, I can't really say, to be honest with you, because
Mhm.
I feel like everything has led up to a path, has led up to
Mhm.
this point. If I have learned something different back then or something that I have known now, who knows what I might have ended up. I might not even be
Mhm.
here as a lead graphic
Mhm.
designer for Foolishly Creative and doing my own thing. I might just be, you know, who knows?
Mhm.
So I can't really say on that aspect what, you know, something I wish I've known. I can't really say, to be honest.
Yeah, and that is a great answer because I think a lot of us ruminate in the
Yeah.
past, and I love that you said, "Well, I'm not a backwards thinker." But I know that's where I get stuck. I get stuck a lot there, and I think it's important to not stay in that space. So yeah, while it's good to have lessons learned, I love what you said that things happen for a reason, and it's directed you to the path for where you are right now. So yeah, that is super. That is super awesome. And I love that you have that quote, just do it. And, I'm going to give you like a little chance to geek out. I know that you geeked out a lot on geeked out a lot. We're talking about print ready files and some of the things you've done, but I just want to let him geek out because he really knows his stuff. And what I'm seeing a lot that kind of upsets me a little bit is that I see a lot of inferior work out there. I see people charging for things that they shouldn't be charging for because even though their prices are dirt cheap, the end result is not something that is unique and meaningful to the business. It's not something that they can use long term. So I just want to ask you, Kevin, what are your favorite technical resources, and what are some of the things that you use to work your magic?
Um, Surprisingly, my favorite resource is Google.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I start a design, the first thing I do when a client comes to me with the
Hmm.
info they have for the logo,
Hmm.
one of the first things I do is go on Google Images and I type in their type of business, if they're an insurance agency or something like that, and I type in some of the other keywords that they might add to their logo,
Mhm.
and I see what people are doing out there. I don't copy them. I just look and see what they're doing,
Mhm.
and that's usually the first thing I'll Google images. I
Yeah.
also go to my favorite, my other favorite platform is an Adobe specific platform. It's called Behance,
Mhm.
where it has a lot of um, graphic designers. It's pretty much a space for graphic designers.
Mhm.
So it could be for print graphics, it could be for photos, it could be for video, it could be just for fonts, it could be logos for any kind of graphics. Is a space there that allows creators to upload their work and people to comment on it, not necessarily critique, but
Mhm.
it allows people to see what other creators are doing, and it's a great um, place of inspiration.
Mhm.
Another Another place I like to go and just for learning is YouTube.
Yeah.
YouTube is amazing for learning.
Mhm.
People, I mean, you could find anything on YouTube. I've learned probably 90% of what I know on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like, you could go and pay a specialist and join a course and stuff like that. That's good. But my advice to anybody that wants to start this as well, to go back to that, is to start on YouTube.
Mhm.
Start on YouTube, find what you're good at, and then go from there.
Yeah.
Um, that's it for pretty much my resources. I don't really
Mhm.
go to anything really too specific or anything too out there. The only real specific thing is Behance. I might go to other Adobe stuff, but um, we as a company, Foolishly Creative, and what I do in Kevin Armstrong Designs as well. Also, we also use spots like Deposit Photo, excuse me, or Creative Market or something like that, just to get not necessarily a template, but maybe a element
Mhm.
or a font or a picture or something like that that we don't we something that will be probably easy to get from there.
Mhm.
But we also use places like that for to help us with our designs and stuff like that. But it's mainly just Google and YouTube for me.
Yeah. And I think that's great resources for anyone really, because
Yeah,
sometimes people feel like it has to be this magic bullet and this magical source, but it's like we have a lot of free resources
yeah,
available. We just have to take the initiative and take the time to utilize what we have. So that is excellent because at no matter what step you are, you can always use YouTube and Google. I know I use it all the time. I use it
yeah,
all the time.
all the
So
time.
yeah, so no matter where you're at, it's always great. So I think that you have given out a lot of awesome, awesome tips. So, I really appreciate you and I appreciate everything that you do for Foolishly Creative, for my clients, for our clients, and for the clients that you have with Kevin Armstrong Designs. And I just want to give you an opportunity to let everyone know what is next for Kevin Armstrong.
What's next for me is getting getting more into Kevin Armstrong Designs, doing my own thing.
Hmm.
I'm obviously going to be still working with Foolishly Creative and Foolishly Creative clients. I'm not going to leave. I'm
Hmm.
not planning on leaving anytime soon.
Okay, I'm not letting you go. So,
Okay. But I'm getting into more of that to treating my own clients.
hmm.
Also, which might be a little bit of surprise to Kim, I'm also want to get into more on the video side.
Oh.
So for everybody that doesn't know, these podcast episodes that are coming up, I also am the one behind putting it together at the end
Hmm.
so the audio is correct or as best as it can be. And essentially putting the video up to YouTube. So I'm in the process of learning that myself. So like I said, YouTube is amazing. I'm going to YouTube for all my little nuggets of
Hmm.
information. So I'm looking into broadening my horizons a little bit more so I can get more clients that maybe want to do video. I can also try to pick those up as well. So I'm trying to do that, trying to get a little bit better at that.
Yeah, so that is great because video is so important now, especially in the online space. Everyone is always asking me for video, and I tell them okay, well, sometimes you can't just use that video that you shot on your phone that's grainy. You need a professional video, you need that professionally edited. So it is great that you're able to offer that service. And I know, I always say we help coaches, professional speakers, authors, and thought leaders elevate their online presence. But on the Kevin Armstrong design side, who do you serve as your ideal client?
Essentially, small business owners, entrepreneurs, what I
Hmm.
really want to focus on, because they're the ones that kind of don't have the money or the means to
Hmm.
go to a professional boutique to get a whole branding guide put together.
Hmm.
I want to offer them that quality of service and a more also intimate service as well. You're going to be dealing with me specifically one to one.
Hmm.
And I want to make sure that when you leave me, you get the best logo and the best branding guide and everything to help you push your business forward and to the way you want it to go.
Hmm.
Because I told this us as graphic designers, and we tend to believe that everything we do is
Hmm.
fantastic,
Yeah.
but the customer is still the one that's buying the service from us, and we still have to pay attention to them.
Hmm.
So I never want to, you know, I always want to let customers know that you're getting the file that you want. I always want to make sure that you're getting the design that you want, the design that you need for your business. So that's what I necessarily want to cater to at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, if you do ever work with Kevin, you're in for a treat. Let me tell you, I've seen the work he puts in; it's phenomenal. So, we're about to close up, but I want you to just let everyone know where they can find you.
Well, they can find me at kevinarshon.designs. You can also email me at kevinarshondesigns@gmail.com. I'm also at Foolishly Creative. You can find me there on that website. You can also find me at kevin@foolishlycreative.com. And you can find me on social media, Kevin Arshon Designs.
Yes, and that will absolutely be put in the show notes because there are a lot of ways to get in contact with Kevin. And his website is dot design. So if you didn't
Yes.
know designs or dot, I think it's dot design.
It's dot
So
designs, yes.
yeah, so that is actually a new domain that you can get if you're looking to be a designer as well. So yeah,
Yep.
that'll all be in the show notes. I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate you jumping on and just sharing all the knowledge that you have, especially because I know that you're super humble and quiet and sometimes, it's not in your nature to brag. But I think that you have so much to share and so much to give that anybody can be a digital thought leader, and you definitely are one. So, yes, we appreciate you.
Thanks for
And
having me.
yeah, it has been an absolute pleasure. Okay, everyone. So that wraps up this episode of the Digital Thought Leader. I will speak to you later. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget, share, subscribe, and like if you love it. And keep on the lookout for future episodes of the Digital Thought Leader podcast. And we'll talk to you later. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.